Let's start on with the presentation.
We have another question.
Yeah, so thanks for reminding. We have just had a couple of slides going, but I think Anusha had a question before we had a call. She forgot.
He burned her tongue actually. When I was making coffee, it was hot.
Oh, all right. She forgot.
Okay, send it to you.
It's okay. She'll be American for a while. Yeah. Yeah, ask. Yeah, Anusha, please ask.
We had a fight when we burst out of anger to our colleagues or a senior. How do we handle that particular situation?
Should I? Well, I have done that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. On a serious note.
Serious note, first of all, that behavior is not encouraged. I mean, when first of all, you have to have an example. There is no reason to burst out, first of all. Like, yeah, as a manager, maybe, you could have been in a very blunt tone. Chase, example, I'm taking. You have been in a very blunt tone, like, maybe saying something rudely, then you can't even do this, what are what are you like, you know, good for nothing, these kind of things. But there is nothing like shouting or bursting out anger. That behavior won't be encouraged. Basically, if it gets reported, both of you will get bad. But if unconsciously, if we tell anything, that's the difference, right? I mean, while you're in college, you will speak loudly. Your language will be different. The usual words that you use will be different. But when you go to office, you'll become calm. Your tone will change. Your vocabulary will change. The number of words you use will change. Everything will change. So if you carry college behavior to office, there is very less possibility that you'll make it for later days. You can't.
Yeah, it is as simple as visualizing that, you miss the fancy dress party and you actually go to office in fancy dress. You fool yourself.
Yeah.
You are wearing clothes to work which are not supposed to be work clothes. So something like that. Your personality is having you. It's just a metaphor. Your personality is having that flavor which is not supposed to be there on the table in office. First of all, yes, avoid it completely. But when it happens, take 5 minutes off, deep breath. Right? I think you were supposed to.
Yeah, actually, I was supposed to say that.
Yeah, so
See, okay, sometimes just because you are stuck in some family situation and because some guy irritated you at the same time, it might happen. I'm not saying it will. If such situation happens, right, take your time, just try to be cool down and first go and apologize. Just say, see, it's not like that. I mean, it's not intentional. I was thinking of something else, and at the same time, you are very capable. So, sorry, no hard feelings. Uh, Please, next time when I say no, just give me that space so that it can't get repeated again. So, you can say that. But you have to apologize.
and do this in the bracket of time before it gets escalated too much.
Hmm.
By the time you go and say sorry, he's already sitting with the CEO. Done.
So if you had done that in front of manager, it's good you do it in front of manager. Okay. So for that situation, which are okay. I mean, take your manager. I have witnessed the situation where the real time example. I'm not making it up. Like I was in like first, maybe second year in the office, 2 years in office, junior developer. There were my and there was one other senior developer who were looking because this guy sent a mail to the senior developer and he did not check. So like I was working with the senior guy. I mean, I'm working with both. Basically, I'm sitting in between them. So when my lead calls, I work with him. When this guy calls, we work with him. So I see the emails. I see his email. I see his email. No, when they were like, they first argued near the desk, then they were like, because the volume is increasing and office will be very quiet. Like, if I'm not talking here, it will actually pick up silence. Only the AC sound will be louder. So
Only these sounds.
calm.
Mix.
Yeah. When you're having this calm, even the slightest of words is also audible to other. So they were like, okay, let's go to meeting room. And they took me. I was not even involved in their fight, but they took me only to, only as an evidence that, that my lead was like, you see his emails, it's always it's 100, right? He was asking me as a validation. I was like, why are you even involving in this? I mean, you are senior guys. I mean, they are shouting actually, like they are challenging. Like, I'll show now. If I show up 100 email in your inbox, you have to read it. This is the dialogue. Okay, and he was also challenging the lead. Then they are asking me. I'm just 2 years guy. I was actually like literally I was afraid. What is going to happen? Because if my manager sees, he will see that three of us are fighting. So, I was like, even though I was just very junior to, I was like, I think we should call, like the manager. Because I feel that his presence might solve this thing. So I was like, my dad, okay, go call him. Then I called him. I was like, what happened? So I told him, no, they're having an argument. So he came. He came with me and he was straight and basically like he was like, you do sort it out amongst yourself. Okay, don't bring some other junior developer. This is not a positive example that you're setting, okay, for him. So, sort it out between yourself. And because the manager is an elder guy, obviously these two will stay calm in front of, right? So, like he said, do it in front of the manager. The more quickly the manager gets involved and sorts out things between you and your teammate, the more better it is. I gave as an example because I witnessed this. I never fought with somebody, fortunately, but yeah, I witnessed that situation. And you involve senior people and try to sort it out. If you think that no matter what you say, the other person might not listen to you, and you will be in a tough spot, then better to involve a senior person whom you can trust.
Yep. I mean, in extension to that, I think these folks who are working with me closely on the ground, in college as well, they might have been really excited or kind of agitated when something happens, right? And they come to me and say, okay, how can this happen? How can that they do this to us and this thing? And I'll be answering calmly, okay, this is what it is. Do like this, say like this, it will be done. And they'll be like, "Hmm, that's because of this calmness or that's because of this sobering down from that uh, college kind of vibe. But college is loud. College is something, an environment. If you're not seen, then you're clean. Okay. It's as easy as that. I just know I made it here. Right? So if you're not seen, you're clean kind of thing. Matlab, you have to shout at the top of your voice. You should be loud and aggressive enough to be seen. That's it. You don't have to be useful. You have to be seen. But in office, you have to be useful, not seen. Being seen automatically comes when you work. Yeah, and this is not an ideal situation. I'm telling, yes, office politics does exist. People will play at you. People will throw things at you, as in not literally. This is again an idiom. Okay, people will push you down the bus, not literally. This is an idiom. Right? Learning these things, throwing down is blaming and stuff. I'm really trying to tell you that. So people will definitely blame you and take credit and all those things. But if you're sincere enough to work on a certain thing, the success will definitely come in. I mean, it's not like it will get too late or something. It will definitely come in. It doesn't. It does not matter if someone is a favorite of your manager or lead or supervisor. It doesn't matter. At a certain point in time, some work or something has to be presented in a certain way. If it is not done, the business flow will stop. It will minimize, and that way, other options will be searched. And when other options are being searched or they want to look for more ideas, they'll definitely call you because you're part of the team. Don't feel that I'm not contributing. And moreover, don't look for recognition in your work. Now, the hard truth. Don't look for recognition in your work. I am not being recognized. Go there, work, take your salary, go home. Your recognition is needed at your house. You should be identified as the person you are at your house. You don't have to work for awards and recognitions at office. Please don't fall for those tricks. You will think, okay, I worked for 6 months, I should be getting half yearly recognition employee of the year award. No. Why? Salary is important, right? You're working, you're getting salary. Because for recognition, you have to do extra. Why do you do extra when you're not getting extra? All these awards and recognition, what are they giving you? The moment you resign and come out of the company, who knows you that you have done great? Who knows you that you're an employee of the year? You're employee of the year only if you're an employee of the company. Don't fall for recognition. Do your job and come home. I'm being really blunt. The more you run for recognition, the more tensions, BP, health issues will come to you. Example is in front of you. Happens. Because you fall for it. Now you'll feel like, hey, I'll be famous. People will ask me things. Doesn't work that way. काम करो, घर आओ. All right. Yes. There are so many elements around you, right? If you don't keep it tidy, all these elements will lose their individual importance and everything will club together as a junk. So keep your workspace tidy. It's okay to have plants. We do have plants in this room. It's okay to have plants or tabletop plants, but make sure water is not leaking or it's not untidy, all that mud and everything. You can still have papers and all, but don't write down any passwords or important stuff on papers and keep it on top of your desk. That is not just about cleanliness, that is also about compliance, security, and privacy. There are trainings we do every year for that. Even at this age or this level of experience that we have, 10 plus years, we are still being taught. Every year there is a compulsory training, mandatory training that we have to go through, which talks about these things. Don't keep crucial confidential documents on the table, keep it tidy, right? We'll also go through that. So just giving it. Noise levels. As just Sirish was saying the example. I'm not shouting at all. I'm talking in my normal tone. This tone I talk at home as well. This is my same tone. This is the tone I talk at home. So this tone is audible. This is understandable till not till Akansha, till Somit where he is sitting, right? Somit, it's audible, right? See, offices that work like that because we are there to work. We are always within our machines and we are working. We don't care about what people are talking. But if you have a call, just before starting this workshop, I told you if you have a call, don't ask, don't interrupt. Just simply slowly walk out and talk. If you talk here, all that will be disturbing this, right? Because it's too quiet. It was a little bit more crowded place, and we are talking. Few people are talking together, and if she takes a call, that might not be heard. That will be masked behind it, right? So professional workspaces like this, where we have noise levels very less. I mean, we are feeling uncomfortable in this silence, kind of, because in college we have seen it differently, right? The way we sit in classrooms and talk. This is how workspace is. You don't have to feel a cultural shock or suddenly a geographical place has changed and kind of shock, when you go to offices. Offices are quiet. For the first 1 week, it will look like a trauma. Hey, no one's talking. Everyone's silent. No one's shouting. There is no noise. People are listening music on their headphones and working. No one's talking to no one. That shouldn't come to you as a shock because people are concerned about their work. They'll complete their work and go home. Now, this can be my perspective, but logically, I feel that workspace is not meant for making too deep relationships. It's mostly for working and getting back home. If you give value to your family and time to your work, that's more than enough. The time which is decided for your work, just give that much to your work and just get back home because your actual life is there at home. I know I'm talking about personal space right now, respecting boundaries, right? People are silent, people are not talking, people are working in their things. Don't disturb them too much. Until unless you have a really important thing to talk to people, right? You will see different workspaces. Once you go into certain companies, HR and other trainers, and people will start talking about culture. I'm not being blunt. I have been saying this, I think, since a week now. People who have been meeting and talking to me. There is nothing called culture at work. Work is, itself is a culture that you have to go, work, and come back. It has 3 steps: go, work, come back. If you try to create extra things at work, right? Let's say Companies do traditional day, companies do other things. That is a way of making us feel human again. Because when we go work and come back, we feel like a robot. We are people who are run by emotions, right? So the human resource department, HR department, and people at companies try to make it more of a comfortable environment, just like home. But you cannot be like home there. It's just trying to subconsciously tell you that we value you as a human being. But deep down, you are basically going there to work and come back, collect your salary and come back, right? So don't be robotic, but treat work as work. Respect it with your dress code, neatness, cleanliness, with your mindset, focus. Just do it and come back. If you give more to your work, right, you'll lose your personal time, your personal space. When people say work-life balance, there may be people saying there is no work-life balance as such. There is no topic because there is work, life is life. But there is work-life balance when you give work the only attention it needs, not more than that. Life may need the extra attention or extra emotions from you. All those are needed there in life. Okay, that is the balance. Balance your emotions. Work-life balance does not mean just time. It also talks about emotions. If you get emotional at work, what Anusha was asking, right, that example will happen. You will not be able to balance your emotions. Okay, personal space. Yeah, give respect boundaries and avoid encroaching on others' desks or belongings. This happens. Actually, this happened. He's smiling. I know it happens. I used to keep my friends and my family photo on my desk. You can, by the way. Okay. So I used to keep a small plant and all. So my colleague used to come there and, hey, who's this? Okay, who's that? And he'll pluck a leaf. Yeah. He'll pluck a leaf and he'll be like, hey, what's happening? This is actually it's going to happen. You keep a plant on your desk, you will see people doing this. Even you know there is no smell there. He'll just pluck it, he'll throw it away, and your plant will be looking like this. Okay. Sometimes people like this also. I did it 2 times just now. Intentions couple. Like, oh, what is this peculiar? Yeah, correct. Yeah, they do that. So you don't have to be rude to them. Next time, don't keep it too near, like while they're coming in. Joke apart. So yeah, people encroach in your personal space, but generally, what is expected. I'll tell you. This is what happens, but what is expected when you go to someone's desk? Yes, of course, you observe things, and it's a human urge to say something about it. Say, don't do it. It's good. No. Hey, it's nice. It's looking tidy. They'll feel good and they'll say, hey, have a look. If they feel comfortable having you in their personal space, then give it to that article. Don't encroach. You may not realize because it's your human response to stimuli, but that actually happens. Don't be rude. Okay. Food and drinks. We have been eating chocolates. There is a reason why I have kept that chocolate, not just because it has sugary content or something like that. There is a reason. There should be both food and drinks on your desk to understand how to keep things. So whenever the bottles are empty, I'm passing it out to someone who's sitting behind me or beside me so that they can keep it away. Otherwise, just with some movement on the table, it will start falling and rolling here and there. It will look bad, right? Even though all of you have your tote bags, except this one, most of the bags you have tidied up or folded them out because we are opening this, keeping things. It is like this, okay. But that's the way, right? So we are keeping it tidy. Even though there are a lot of bags and a lot of books being here and people doing a lot of stuff, we still have still looking tidy. Yes. And yes. Very naturally, instinctively, I got this. I mean, in college, during college days, even if I went out of, I would have not done this. Office teaches you these things because clean up skills immediately. I got a coffee and while placing it on, I told him, "What the ibbandi, right? What the this is what will clean it up. I mean, to do another test, maybe on my shirt, not on the floor, but immediately as soon as I took the coffee, I asked him, "Is there a tissue?" He gave me. I wanted. I didn't use it, but this is very instinctively, this is what office teaches you. That professional, one of those professional things that you learn after going to office. Very simple. I mean, didn't even think about it. Like, I mean, that topic will be discussed here, but
it is still here. And that cup, which I, very immediately after I completed, I'm like, where is the dustbin? I saw a dustbin in that room. So I was like, okay, there should be a dustbin here. I started looking, then forward indicated is there and just
That's
went into it.
so true.
So, from orders, clean up skills immediately. This is exactly, I mean, very subconsciously I did this.
Fine. Workplace etiquette, the last part is dress code. I think I have already emphasized enough on it while I've initiated the workshop. So please adhere to the company guidelines. If the company says casuals are okay, wear casuals. But if the company says Monday to Thursday there is a formal attire and on Friday we have business casuals, adhere to that attire. Okay, it's really important.
Yeah.
See, his company, it's okay with casual, business casual. So he is wearing business casual. That's the way it is. Okay. For TCS, it is not. So I'm not. For you, maybe it is. So we follow. Okay. Here we'll have it. Okay. So professionalism and respect. I think with Anusha's question and some of the, cut scenes, we have discussed about these things, but let's still go through it. Respect of for diversity. First things first. Let me bring this example. This is not a funny example. This will definitely happen. Okay. Please concentrate here. Someone who has been in this Telangana state for their entirety of life, or maybe born here, or maybe have some different political opinion, may say that so and so chief minister is better than so and so chief minister at a different state, or maybe the current chief minister is better than the previous, or the previous is better than the current, and people tend to argue on that. That is one of the example. Under diversity, there are like four different categories, if I have to say. One is political, next is cultural, third is language, separately, I would say. And the fourth one can be just the nature of that person that creates their thought process, right? So, if I talk about political, people will definitely have political differences. You can always put in your political difference, I mean, put in your political opinion, but don't make it a difference or don't start the argument. If you feel that the other person, the opposite party is starting an argument, you say, whatever you say is right. Thank you. Okay. Office is not the place to do an argument. Office is not a place to disagree on things in an unprofessional way. Political differences will always be there with people because everybody thinks differently. You just have to say, yes, you are right in your opinion. That means, as their opinion, they are right. So that also gives you the understanding that it's their opinion, they're right. My opinion, I'm right. And just get out of that situation. Now, second one can be cultural. Like, right now we are sitting here, we are having so many people around us. So, cultural, people are from different states here who might have seen things happening differently. People are from different religions here. We have Nuha here, we have Syed here. Now, Syed is again a special case, right? He's both Christian and Muslim in a way. So he has seen both the worlds or both the cultures. So he knows what the difference is. So maybe he understands it better from both the ends. But something which people as Hindus do, people as Muslims do, may be looking similar, but it's in a different shape and form, right? The way cultural practices that we do, right? So that we have to respect their cultural practices, their cultural understanding and their opinions. You don't have to get your opinion placed there. You don't have to make sure that they understand and they agree to it. Understanding is fine, but agreeing to it is not required. So respect that diversity, right? Diversity of language is also there. For example, etiquette. I say etiquette. Someone says etiquette. In a world in some world, with different dialects, it is right in both ways. Don't argue, no, it's not quit. Don't be a grammar Nazi, as we say, right? That's why I kept language separately out of culture. Actually, it's part of culture, but I've kept it. So people tend to talk differently. Someone who has been in a different background or backdrop where they have completed their education, and someone who has always been in convent or in city, the way they speak, the way they pronounce words will be different. Don't correct people in a public, okay? Maybe you can get to them alone and one on one. You can tell them, hey, I feel that this should be pronounced like this. What do you feel? Don't you say, hey, you are talking wrong. Don't be like that, right? So that is language. And I think the fourth part is the mindset. A person's approach to a problem, a person's approach to a question may be different. So if I say, how's the weather? One person tells me 25 degrees Celsius. Now, if I asked it to someone else, he or she will say, hey, it looks cloudy. So one is concentrating on the number and one is concentrating on the quality, quantity and quality, right? So their approach, their attitude towards the question is different. Respect both of them. Both of them is good information. Okay. So respect the diversity of thought process, maybe language, culture, or anything at all. Punctuality, yes. I mean, I would say I'm a best example. You ask me to come at 7, I'll be there at 6:30. I don't know that. That is also not punctuality. They're coming there 6:58, 6:45. That till that 15 minutes gap is always good. Okay, I think I'm too much of a obsessive person, but yeah, punctuality is really important. Doesn't mean, see, they will say 9 o'clock sharp, please be there. Be there at 8:45. Let the meeting start at 10, doesn't matter. You arrived at time. You were there. That 15 minutes will give you to prepare for that meeting or maybe groom yourself or sit down and relax, think through it, like what I'm going to talk in this meeting or what I'll be presenting and all, right? So be punctual. No matter who's doing what, who's coming late, who's coming early, if you are punctual, it always counts as a personality trait. Confidentiality, yes. So maintain discretion, maintain secrecy or privacy with respect to information that you talk to. Let's say you have a good relation with your colleague and your colleague shares something personal in a workspace, which you should never talk personal things in workspace, but I feel like he or she is my friend, right? So I'll tell them something personal. So it is the responsibility of the receiver to keep it secret or keep it personal. That conversation ends there itself. It should not be taken forward to different situations where you talk about what the other person shared with you. This is personal confidentiality. Then the other one is corporate confidentiality. So there are a lot of business secrets that are lying around. Passwords, ID passwords to production environment, right? You'll also have access to a lot of data, user data. Don't talk about it outside. Yeah. Salary. Oh yeah. Don't talk. Never tell yourself. No one. Not even. I should not say this, but at home as well. Most of my family doesn't know my salary. They don't have to. I'm able to provide. I'm able to be there. That's more than enough. At work, I'm there. I'm working. I'm fulfilling my task. That's enough. Why do you want me to know about my salary, my appraisals? What was the rating I got? No, don't discuss. Never say it. No matter how close. I think most of you know one of my close friends, Shashidhar. Even he doesn't know my salary. I never discuss with him. He never tells me mine. So never share your salary. Okay, that's has to be completely confidential. Let's go back, come down to the next point. Okay, constructive feedback. Would you like to? Yeah. Because for me, feedback is very blunt and direct at most of the time. So he can explain better. Yeah, but on a professional way, yeah, please. Okay. I guess everyone has attended the retrospection, right? So, what was your opinion about retrospection before I answer that? Anyone can say. I mean, you can say anything. It's just your feeling. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. You can say whatever you think. What went wrong and what can be done better. Okay. Any other thing you observe in retrospection? That's a great point. But is there any other? Even yeah. You don't realize somebody else is wrong. It was very polite to do that. Okay. I just forgot my hands. Okay, I can take one more point if anyone can say. Okay. things we should avoid doing on the things where it can no, the gist of that meeting was we give you feedback on things that didn't go in the right way, but it should be constructive, as in I give you on a positive note. Right now, he will decode that. Yeah.
Yeah. So first things first, when it comes to a constructive feedback, first the step one of feedback is always pointing out what went wrong and also informing them or also letting them know what could have been done in such scenarios. See, always it's not we are not perfect every time. Even I do mistakes. Even now, whenever there is some task, I do mistakes and I get a feedback. That doesn't mean I'm just pointing out you did this wrong. That's not it. It's just to make you understand that this is not a right thing to do and it can be done in a different. And this feedback is the name itself says constructive feedback. Feedback is not only once. It can be at every step. It can be at every task. But that doesn't mean people are pointing you out. It's just that taking that into consideration, and from next time you're not making those issues. So that is a main purpose of a constructive feedback.
Okay. Like for in chemistry, for chemicals, we have formulas, right? And when we in coding we call similar on similar notes we call it a syntax. So for a constructive feedback, there is a very simple syntax. If I'm saying you are wrong, it's a feedback. If I'm saying you are wrong, but it can be improved, it's a positive feedback. If I say you are wrong and it can be improved in this way, that is constructive feedback, right? I'm constructing over the argument that this is wrong. I'm constructing a solution for you so that next time you are not wrong, right, Sirish?
Yeah, to put it in a more better sentence, it was fine, but it could have been better. Is exactly like
Yeah.
that is where it's taken because it's like we are not for let's say I'm a jury for something. So I would say that like yeah, this all looks fine to me, but could have been better. It's not. I'm not intending that what you did is waste of things, but I'm saying that this could have been more better if you had done it in some other picture. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are being constructive. Your entire intention of giving feedback is not to make the other person feel that he is or she is wrong. Your intention of that feedback is, hey, we can grow together. This is the right way of doing it. You are basically making them learn. You're trying to train them that this can be done in a better way, right? So it's not supposed to be just you are wrong and then you exit the scene. Ha! Favorite word. Today's favorite word, attitude. Now they are saying positive attitude, right, on the screen. Yeah, a positive attitude is an attitude which is extra positive. That's it. Attitude means your our approach to any situation, right? Positive attitude is you are believing that what you're gonna do is going to be done. You are going to achieve it. Once you create an approach towards a situation, you believe in yourself that you are going to achieve. That's it. There is nothing more than that. Positive attitude. Now, this positive attitude changes according to the situation. If it's about examinations, you're positive about marks. If it is about a job, you're positive about the interview. If it is about a trip, you're positive about catching the flight. That's it. So contribute to a supportive and collaborative environment. Now, in this sentence, they're talking about your approach towards a situation in a workspace should be positive. Don't start thinking about first thing about what could have gone wrong. The first thing that you have to start thinking is how we can better this. That way, all these things, punctuality, respect, you will arrive at time, you will have some time to think through. Like if you're punctual, you will have that grace period to think about work, like what I'll plan today. And that way, whenever a situation arises, you'll have ample time to think, approach it well. If you are talking to people and telling them that they're not able to work on certain things in a better way, positive or sorry, constructive feedback, while being respectful of their opinions and understanding and approach, right? So positive attitude will try to, balance all these things out. So be punctual. Right.
I'll show you a small example, positive attitude thing. Because again, a lot of times we face this. So, let's say we both are teammates actually, and let's say Akshay is stuck on some basic thing. He called me. Okay, he called as in not like Shireesh, and no, not that. He will ping me actually. Can you please call my desk? So I come here. He tells me that when I'm not understanding. So I come here now. Two approaches. One thing, I thought you don't even know this move. Let me take control.
Yeah. I know.
Does this feel good? No. No. Okay.
Personal space, first
Personal
thing.
space. Number two. I thought you know this, but anyway, let me help you out. Let's start here.
See, he didn't even breach to use my machine.
Yeah. I didn't even touch anything.
Now I'll be like, you show me.
Yeah.
If I feel
If
comfortable,
he
I'll.
gives me that consent, I'll be like, okay, fine, sure, let's do this. So I'll show him. Yeah, this is how it is. Remember, next time, don't ask me.
Again, a heartbreak, right?
No, I mean, like, first I'll give it that lightweight environment. Then I'll tell him that, better remember this. If it is me, okay, fine, I told you in a nice way. Somebody else, if I'm not there at that instance, somebody else may come and again, give that first approach. I'm shocked you don't even know this. Move.
I'll do it. You don't know anything.
Just move.
That can happen at workspace.
Yeah.
There are people specifically designed to evade your personal space. They will not even, work, understand what it is. There are certain people, I should not name them like that, loudspeakers, but by default, their their personality has this, they speak louder. It's not like they are doing it intentionally. Sometimes they are by default they are loud. Their voice boxes are like that. The moment someone is loud, it is a human nature to understand. Okay, he's instructing something and he is right. Probably, I have done something wrong. Come out of it. It's just the volume or the tone. It's not the content. Okay. No matter if someone is loud, someone is assertive, loud enough. Doesn't matter that what I'm saying is right. Always. You still have your opinion on the floor. No matter if I'm being really loud, doesn't matter. Right? You can still have your opinion. You can pitch in. For meetings like these, you can wait for the person to finish and then raise your hand. Not like this. No, that's not a classroom. Workspace, we don't work with this. Don't show your armpits to anyone. To be really honest, don't do that. It's like this, height. Be like this. Not like this, like this, like this. This says I have something to say, right? Not like this, or like this. Don't do all that. There are people who literally do that. I mean, it's sounding funny, me giving that example. It's looking like an exercise. There are people. You're not stopping a bus in a meeting room. Don't do that. You are in a closed space. Yeah, do like this. Or say, I have something to say.
That's it.
I
Yeah.
have something.
Sorry. Become
I have something to say. And in a group of 3, 4 people, raising hand will look different, weird. You can still bring up your voice. That is more than enough. So the floor is open for questions. I think I will talk. We'll have something to talk about. The floor is open for Shirish, please. Shirish and Syed take questions, right? Yeah, I'll be back. I can talk about it in 10 minutes.